Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing this look right here. If you guys want to see how to get this look, then please keep watching. Okay, so first I'm going to start out with the Summer Fridays jet lag mask. I'm just going to take this, put it on the skin. We're going to go in with the Smashbox primer oil, and you want to put this all over. Next, I'm going to go in with my Prep and Prime by MAC. It's the line filler base, and I'm going to place that on the areas where I feel that my pores are bigger. This is to conceal the pores before you put on foundation. Next, I'm going to go in with the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 in the color 02, which is natural. And I'm going to put that on with a foundation brush, which is the Morphe 439 brush. And I'm going to put the product right on the brush. And I'm going to dab that into the skin in a bunch of places. Now I know this foundation looks very yellow on me, but we're gonna make it work. And you want to make sure that you bring this all the way up into the hairline, because if you have your hair up, you want to make sure that it blends. You also want to bring it down your neck if you're wearing a shirt like this, to make sure that everything looks the same. And you want to do your ears. Now I'm going to go in and do my eyebrows. And I'm going to do that using the Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil in the color Chocolate. And first I'm going to use my spoolie and brush the brows up. Then you're going to take the pencil and you're going to start drawing in under the eye. So you want to fill the under first and kind of just shape the eyebrow. Then you want to do the top. And don't worry if it looks crazy in the beginning, because we're going to use concealer to fix anything that we don't like. And you don't want to use too much of this product in the front of the brow, because you want the brow to look realistic. Now I start out a little bit heavy-handed, but then I will lighten it. So I'm going to get the brow to the shape that I want. Again, I'm going to go in with my spoolie and I'm going to brush the brows up. If you ever question your eyebrows, you can always just take the pencil and this is where your eyebrow should start, this is where your arch should be, and this is where the end should be. Now what I'm going to go in with is the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the color Soft Brown. I'm going to go in with the Beauty Professional brush that looks like this. And I'm just going to dip into the product. Get some product on my brush. Wipe any excess off. I want to put this only in the middle to the back of the eyebrow. You do not want to put this in the front of the eyebrow. And then you get to color to what you want it to be. And I'm going to do the same on this side. Then you want to take your spoolie again, brush up. I'm going to take my concealer to clean it up. I'm going to go in with the Pro Concealer by LA Girl. And I'm gonna take that on a foundation brush that looks like this. Put a little bit of product on there, wipe off any excess, and then I'm gonna start carving out the brows the way that I want them to be. And you want to make sure that you drag this product down into the crease of the eye, because we're also going to use this as a primer for the eye to get the eye ready for eyeshadows. You want to push in to make sure that the product is not just sitting there. Then you want to go in on the top. You want to clean up whatever mistakes you made, top and bottom. Now that the eyebrows are finished, you want to go in and you want to start putting the concealer on your lids. And this is going to get your eyelids prepped for eyeshadow. You want to take your finger and just make sure the whole eyelid is covered. So now that the concealer is blended, I'm going to take a loose powder and I'm going to set that. I'm going to take the Kat Von D Lock-It powder and I'm going to put that on a little bit on the cap. And I'm going to take that and put that on with a Morphe 504 brush. It looks like that. Just going to take a little bit on the brush, tap it off, and then just press the powder into that concealer. And make sure that everything is set. So now we're going to go in with the Jaclyn Hill palette. And we're going to go in with this shade right here, which is MFEO. And we're going to take that on a blending brush that looks like this. This is a BH Mall brush. And I'm just going to tap that in here, dust it off. And then I'm just going to start placing this in the crease. So in here. You want to intensify that to the way that you're okay with, but you want to make sure that it's fully blended. And what I'm doing is I'm just going back and forth, circular motions. Next, I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which is the color Butter. Tap that off, and I'm going to go right over that shadow that I just did. Same thing. I didn't mention the brush that I was using. This is a BH Mall brush. Next, I'm going to go in with another fluffy brush, BH Mall. Looks like that. And I'm going to go in with the color Pukey. And I'm going to do the same thing. Just brush that in to that area. Now I'm going to go in with another fluffy brush that looks like this. This is a Wet n Wild brush. And I'm going to go into the color Roxanne, which is this color right here. Tap it off. And again, I'm going to go over the same area I just went over and do the same exact thing. Before I go any further, I'm going to take my RCMA powder, go in with a Morphe 459 brush, and I'm going to dip that in and dust it off. And what I want to do is I want to just put powder right here so that I don't go out of the area. So this is kind of like my mark. I don't want to go out of this mark. So I put this on so that I just have an area where I want to stay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another fluffy brush. I'm going to take the M411 brush and I'm going to go in with the color Hunt, which is this color right here. And I'm going to do the same thing, dust that into the same area. I'm going to go in with another BS small brush and I'm going to go into the color Creamsicle. And I'm going to dust this above all of the shadows to kind of blend all this together. And I'm just going to go back in with the MFEO and just bring all these shadows together. Next, I'm going to take a Beauty Professional brush that looks like this, and we're going to dip into hillster. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some product on my brush, and then I'm going to dampen the brush. I'm using Max Fix Plus, and I'm going to put this all over the lid. And now that we're done with that shadow, we're going to take another brush. We're going to take another BS small brush that looks like this, and we're going to dip into the Firework and Queen. We're going to mix them, and we're going to place this in the center of the eye. Just want to intensify that shadow a little bit, so I'm going to go in with Queen on my finger, and I'm going to start dabbing that in the center of the eye. Go back in with the color Roxanne and the color Hunts together, and I'm gonna just start dabbing that into the outer corner and the inner corner. Again, same thing on this side, just the outer corner and the inner corner. And I'm gonna go back in with my blending brush, go back into MFEO, and just take out any harsh lines. Drag this out a little bit. Again, same thing on this side. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dust away that powder using the Morphe 504. Now I'm going to go in with my concealer, and I'm taking my Pro Concealer again. And I'm going to start bringing that down onto the side of my nose. And I'm going to sharpen this line right here with the concealer. Forehead. The bridge of the nose. Cupid bow. And on your chin. And I do go down my smile lines. Now I'm gonna go in with my concealer brush, looks like that, and I'm gonna start pressing this into the skin. And you wanna be careful over here because you don't want to mess up the shadow that you have on that side, so just kind of work around it. And you wanna dab this product into the skin. And once I'm done with my brush, now I'm gonna go in with my beauty blender. And I'm just gonna start pressing everything in, including my foundation. So I'm gonna go over the whole face with the beauty blender. Now before we set our face, I'm gonna go in with the Smashbox contour stick, and I'm just gonna draw a line. I'm gonna go in with the BS Small brush, and I'm gonna start dabbing this contour into the skin. I always like to start out light because I can always put more if I feel that I don't like the coverage. Want to push this down the neck. Because I went in so light, I'm going to go in again, and I'm going to do another line and another line. And now that we have that blended, I'm going to take a small brush that looks like this, and I'm just going to take a little bit lightly of that bronzer. I'm just gonna go down the nose here, and then again you want to take this from the corner of the eyebrow and you want to bring it down. And I'm going to take my Lock-It powder, dab my Morphe sponge in there. I'm going to lightly dust this underneath the eye. So now that we have put the Lock-It powder underneath the eye, I'm going to go in with the LA Girl Proface. This is in the color Classic Ivory, and I'm going to take that on a fluffy brush like this and dab it in, and then I'm going to start patting this into skin just to set the rest of the face. Now that we have set the rest of the face, we're going to go in with our contour palette. We're going to use the Anastasia contour palette. Sorry, it looks a little bit dingy. I use it a lot, as you can see. Now I'm going to go in with a brush that looks like this. This is a Beauty Professional brush. And I'm going to go in with the center color right here. Tap it off and just start dabbing this into the skin. And getting it to the way I want it to be. Now you want to do the same thing on the top of your forehead. And you just want to go back and forth. And again, you want to do the same thing underneath. Take a fluffy brush like this, and I'm going to go into MAC bronzing powder. And this is in the color Refined Gold. And I'm going to just dab this in there, dust it, and again, do the same thing just to warm up the cheeks. Okay, so now that we are done bronzing up the face, I'm gonna go back into that contour palette, and I'm gonna take the same brush that I used for the contour on my nose, and I'm gonna go in with the same color here, dust it. I'm gonna lightly just go over the contour. And so when you're happy with the way that it looks, you're gonna take your beauty sponge and you're just gonna dab it in. And before we finish the rest of the face, we're gonna finish the under eye. I'm gonna take my pencil brush and we're gonna go back into the Jaclyn Hill palette. We're gonna go in with the color Pukey. And we're gonna dust that underneath. Same thing onto this eye. And this is going all the way underneath the eye. Like that. We're going to go in with another pencil brush. We're going to take the color Mocha, dust it, and this is just going to go into the outer portion of the eye. Gonna go in with another pencil brush. This is another BS Small Cosmetics brush. Again, pretty much all the brushes that I use are BS Small brushes, unless I say that they're otherwise. And we're gonna go in with the color Roxanne. And we're gonna do the same thing, bring it underneath the eye. And I'm gonna also go in with the color Jacz, and I'm just gonna dust that too underneath the eye. Finally, I'm gonna go in with a brush that looks like this. This is a Beauty Professional brush, and I'm gonna go in with creamscicle, and I'm just gonna dust that all underneath the eye. I'm gonna take the color Chip, put that on a Morphe 432 brush that looks like that, dust it, and I'm gonna put this underneath the eye, but very close to the lash line. I'm actually going to take this color also, Chip, and I'm just going to press it into the top lash line just to give it a little pop. And now that we are done with the under eye, I'm going to go in with blush. This is the Fit Me blush in the color Bluff. And I'm gonna take that on a Wet n Wild brush. Get the product all over, dust off. And then you wanna put this on the apples of your cheeks and you wanna bring it back. And I wanna sharpen the line that I have. So I'm just gonna put a little bit more of the Lock-It powder on there. And I'm gonna take my beauty blender, dip it in there, and I'm gonna just start carving out where I want my line to be. Then you could leave it to bake, or you could just clean it all right off. Once you have that put into the skin, you just want to take a brush and just wipe it away. And then you have that sharp line. Now I'm going to go in with the Glamorous Blush Palette by BH Cosmetics. And I'm going to, it looks like this. I'm gonna take the same brush that we used for the blush and I'm gonna go in with this color and this color. And I'm gonna just start bringing that onto the cheeks. I like a lot of blush, because blush is the first thing that leaves your face. I'm going to go over it with my beauty sponge, dab it into the skin. And then what I like to do is I like to go in with my powder brush and just take whatever is left on there and just pat that out. Now I'm gonna go in with mascara. We're gonna go in with the Urban Decay Troublemaker mascara. And I'm gonna place this on the eyelashes. I'm gonna take my eyelash curler. I did curl my eyelashes before we started, but I'm gonna just take it and just recurl again. Now I'm gonna go in with BMC lashes. They look like this, and we're gonna go in with these right here. I'm gonna take my little tool. And then I'm gonna go in with, we have the lash. We're gonna go in with Super Strong Hold Glue by Eye Envy. Probably about a minute or so. The tackier the glue is, the better it'll work. I usually wait about a minute or so. So my camera cut out on me, unfortunately, so I just put on this lash now. I put the lash glue on here. I'm just waiting for it to get tacky. Just gonna dry it a little bit. Okay, so now that the lashes are on, we're just gonna, this one's still a little wet, so we're gonna let that dry. This one's dry, so I'm gonna push it up. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that to dry, I'm gonna go in with this lip pencil right here. Not sure what the name of it is because it came off. It looks like this. And I'm just gonna start lining my lips. Victoria's Secret Velvet Matte in the color Adored. Looks like that. Now I'm gonna go in with a Morphe 510 brush, and I'm gonna go into Champagne Pop by Jaclyn, Hill, and Becca. I'm gonna place this on the high points of my cheekbone. My cupid's bow. My forehead. And then I'm going to go in with another BS mole brush, and I'm going to take that same highlighter and I'm going to highlight underneath the brow bone. Again, same thing over here. Highlight underneath the brow bone. And I'm going to go down the center of my nose and then just the tip of my nose. And because the highlight is just not beaming to me, I'm going to go back in with the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm going to go into the first color, which is Enlightened. I'm going to dip into that, and I'm going to just highlight the brow bone with that. So I'm going to go over it. Same thing on this side, down the center of my nose. Again, here, Cupid's bow. And I'm going to take the same highlight and I'm going to highlight inside my inner corner. And I'm going to take my brush again, go into Enlighten, and just go over the color pop. I'm going to just take my blush brush, just go over that. I'm just going to dab a little bit. And I'm going to go in with this Victoria's Secret gloss. I'm going to go back in with the Urban Decay mascara. I'm going to put this on my bottom lashes. I'm going to take my L'Oreal Infallible 16-hour wear eyeliner and I'm gonna go over the top. Now that we are done with the face, I'm gonna go in with the Mario Badescu spray. Just gonna push my hair to the back. And then I'm gonna take my beauty blender and just pat all that out. And finally, I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. And this is the final look. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on your notifications so you never miss a video from me. Hope to see you guys in the next one. Everybody stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.